forgotten how to pander to voters. That's an ingrained skill gained over 50 years. Here he is on a video conference with Muslim activists.
Muslim communities were the first to feel Donald Trump's assault on black and brown communities in this country with his vile Muslim ban. Under this administration, we've seen an unconscionable rise in Islamophobia. The incidents including kids being bullied in school and hate crimes in our communities. If I have the honor of being president, I will end the Muslim ban on day one. Day one. Thank you so very much. And may peace be upon you.
Bet you didn't know we had a Muslim ban. Oh, because we don't. But here's something really surprising. Joe Biden, after a lifetime on the left, now supports bringing religion back into schools. Watch.
I wish we taught more in our schools about the Islamic faith.
Hi, Sharia'a is a former Muslim, author of the book Heretic, Why Islam Needs a Reformation Now, and one of our all-time favorite guests. We're honored to have her tonight. And thanks so much for coming on. So how do you assess, most people have not seen this video. I'm interested in your thoughts as someone who's deeply learned on this subject. What do you take from this?
Well, I mean, if you go on, by the way, Tucker, hi, nice to see you again, and thank you for having me on. But when you go to the next sentence, the next thing that he says on the clip, which is, if you see something wrong, and he quotes the Prophet Muhammad, then use your hand, and if you can't use your hand, use your tongue, and if you can't use your tongue, then use your heart. What he's basically doing from that point onwards is enforcing Sharia law. And it is vigilantism on steroids. It's like, you know, we've seen, if you're a Muslim, you grew up within Islam, you're trying to reform it, you're just a good American Muslim, you are being confronted with a former vice president and I would say a candidate for a major political party who's basically saying, let's enforce Sharia law. I have absolutely nothing against, and I'm with him on, let's fight discrimination. We should not be bullying Muslim children. We shouldn't be doing any of that. He's really good on that, but I don't know who puts these words in his mouth, and I'm alarmed.
So as a garden variety Protestant, this went right over my head. I didn't catch any of it. I didn't even notice. Would this be obvious to people who grew up reading the Quran?
Yes, I watched that video, I mean all of it, not just where you stopped, but where I think there's this concept called commanding right and forbidding wrong. And I absolutely cannot believe that in the year 2020, Joe Biden is commanding right and forbidding wrong, meaning he is enforcing Sharia law. I understand that Joe Biden doesn't know what he's doing because, and I think most Americans don't, but he does have a campaign team. He has a team of people who will say, this is what you can say, and here's why. This is what I think is, your former guest said she's sorry when she made a gaffe. This is something I think, because we're in this cancel culture, so, and I'm absolutely against cancel culture, but here's one thing where I would say Joe Biden should come out and apologize profusely to the American people, and especially to those American Muslims who have adopted and embraced the foundational principles of America. And in this video, what he has done is he's put himself, at least these people who I think of as the Muslim Brotherhood, radical Islamists, they have him endorsing and enforcing Sharia vigilantism. I mean, think about it. You have people who are Muslim scholars, when they start talking about enforcing Sharia law, it is, should we use, when you talk about the hand, is it the sword? Is it firearms? Is it improvised explosive devices? Think about the two brothers who went and used their mother's pressure cooker to hurt people during the Boston Marathon bombings in 2013. That's the kind of thing. And if you don't know what you're talking about, then you shouldn't do it. But if you do, I think it would be a great trait of leadership if then Joe Biden came out and said, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I didn't realize this is what I was doing. If he did that, I'd vote for him.
Do you think there's any chance that he will do that?
Here we go, because he's trying to harvest every single kind of vote he can get. But if he's so desperate as to want the vote of the organized Muslim Brotherhood, then I think we're in big trouble, and then I don't know if he'll do it.
Very quickly, how did these words get into his script? Do you have any idea who advised him to say that?
I don't know who did that. I know that this group of people called, this guy who put the video together and who lured him into saying these things, I know that they are parts of the organized Islamist groups. We call them the Muslim Brotherhood, those of us who are following this sort of thing. But what I do know is that the people who look after him, the campaign team, were not on red alert, and that they didn't stop him from saying this type of thing.
Yes.
And here
Clearly
we live in the age of cancel culture. They did. We live in the age of cancel culture. And I would say to you, it would be a great trait of leadership if Joe Biden and his campaign team came out today and said, no, we made a big mistake. We obviously don't understand Sharia law. We don't understand the ins and outs of it. But this is wrong, and this is not what we're about.
Ayaan Hirsi Ali, thank you so much for that. Again, I missed it, but I was glad to hear it. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.